This is CBC Here and Now.
It's Telly 10 weekend. Thousands are getting ready to tackle the 10-mile course from Paradise to St. John's. I'm Jeremy Eaton, co-hosting Here and Now live from the Remax Centre, and that's where hundreds of people have been stopping by all day to pick up their race kits for the 90th running of this historic race. Now, here's what else is making news tonight.
Serious problems at the coroner's office.
In many ways, it had to have been ignored.
Government concludes the chase can continue. And Wabush celebrates its golden anniversary.
Well, it may be a tad cooler than we've been used to lately, but runners will certainly welcome that on race day this Sunday. Your full weekend forecast coming up.
A report into the provincial coroner's office has revealed serious flaws. A review into the office of the chief medical examiner was ordered after an infant murder case was seriously mishandled. Key evidence was accidentally thrown out. Today, the province's justice minister apologized to the family, but stopped short of committing to implementing all of the report's recommendations, at least not yet. Here now's Ariana Carolyn joins us live. So, Ariana, what more can you tell us?
Well, Debbie, we know that there are now serious issues at the office in St. John's just about everywhere you look.
We have quite clearly says inadequate staffing, inadequate facilities, inadequate policies, inadequate procedures. A lot of this came down to, in many ways, it had to have been ignored.
Ignored, he says, by previous governments. Now, this report is the result of a 4-month-old infant's death and his father's botched murder case. Nova Scotia's chief medical examiner was called in after a CBC News investigation revealed key evidence in this case. Matthew Rich's brain was likely tossed out by accident with other medical waste. This office of just 3 employees is understaffed, lacks resources, and needs better infrastructure. Not a major shock to the minister, who had visited the office before.
In this report that says that many of the recommendations in this report that were labeled immediate still have not been acted upon. So given the fact that, murder cases already collapsed, what's the holdup?
Again, some of these, they vary in terms of seriousness and they vary in terms of time to input. Dr. Bose has been quite clear that some things he doesn't expect to happen right away, and he realizes they will take time. The other thing is that this is not something that's completely within justice.
Meaning this office crosses a couple of different departments and agencies. Meanwhile, the family of Matthew Rich has been notified of the report's release.
Only imagine that, that this does not ease their pain. I mean, I don't know if anything ever will.
Of course, all of this comes with a price. Parsons says some of the recommendations can be implemented without much money or work, but things like staffing and infrastructure will cost millions. Now, just a short while ago, I heard from Chief Medical Examiner Simon Avis. He says that a lot of these issues are not new. In fact, Avis says he flagged the need for additional forensic pathologists and the need for a dedicated unit and much more to previous governments. He says in 2014, the government of the day acknowledged what he calls shortfalls and started a review, all of which fell to the wayside with a drop of oil. Avis says he's pleased this latest review has reaffirmed what he had already recommended. Debbie?
Thanks, Ariana. That is Ariana Carolyn live in our studio tonight. Now, in other news, a man accused of causing the accident that paralyzed Morgan Party has now been charged with forcibly confining her. 21-year-old Joshua Steele Young is alleged to have been driving a car that flipped over on Pitts Memorial Highway in March. Here now's Glenn Payette reports.
It's alleged that Joshua Steele Young was behind the wheel of this Honda Civic when it flipped over on Pitts Memorial Drive in St. John's, March 20th. On June 8th, Steele Young was charged with dangerous driving causing bodily harm, and now more charges. Morgan Party was ejected from the vehicle and seriously injured. It appears she may have been an unwilling passenger. A new charge against Steele Young reads that he did, without lawful authority, confine, imprison, or forcibly seize Morgan Party on that same day, March 20th. Steele Young had been released on conditions. Now he's been arrested and is in custody. And he's also facing new charges for breaching those conditions. He wasn't supposed to have any contact with Party and 2 other women. He's accused of doing that twice in June and once this month. Party's mother has told the CBC that Steele Young did contact her daughter. Because of the alleged contact, he is also charged with failing to keep the peace. He was slated to have a bail hearing today in provincial court in St. John's, but it has been rescheduled for Monday. Party's mother also said that Morgan got out of the hospital on Tuesday, that she has her ups and downs, but for the most part is in good spirits. She's doing rehab. She's lost the use of her legs, but has the use of her arms and limited use of her hands. Morgan turns 22 on Monday. Glenn Payette, CBC News, St. John's.
We finally know what's next in the Ghouls Chase the Ace controversy. The draw that was postponed on Wednesday because of duplicate tickets will now go ahead next Wednesday. And with the details, we go to Here Now Zach Gowdy, who's been following this story. So Zach, what is the latest?
Well, Debbie, players and Chase the Ace organizers are breathing a sigh of relief. Late this afternoon, Service NL announced it has completed its investigation, which began on Wednesday night when tickets with duplicate numbers were discovered. That forced the abrupt cancellation of this week's Chase the Ace. Players were sent home with their tickets and have been wondering what's next ever since. So here's what you need to know. The postponed draw will go ahead this coming Wednesday, July 26th. It will be a draw using tickets that were sold for this week's Chase the Ace. So bring your tickets with you. Game time will be 8 p.m., same as usual. However, there will be no new tickets sold, and this applies to the 50-50 as well as Chase the Ace. So if you did not get tickets for last week's draw, don't bother coming out to Gould's next week. This is the postponed draw being rescheduled, not a new game being played. Players are being asked to check their tickets for the duplicate number 1378754. That is the only duplicate number that has been identified so far, and in every ticket where they have seen it, it is always in the number 3 position. All Chase the Ace tickets contain 3 numbers. Now, if you find that number on any of your tickets, you need to exchange those tickets for new tickets before the night of the draw. You can do that at St. Kevin's Parish Office on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday during regular hours. If on game night that number happens to be chosen, 1378754, it will be declared invalid and another number will be drawn from the bin. So how many duplicate tickets are out there? Well, so far, Service NL has identified 4 people who together have 17 tickets with the duplicate number. It suspects there are not many more, if any, but after next week, when people have a chance to check and exchange any other duplicate tickets, we will know for sure. Now, Service NL says its investigation revealed that a technical glitch at the ticket printers caused the duplication. Further, it suspects the same duplicate number was likely present on some tickets in the previous week's Chase the Ace draw. That's because Chase the Ace tickets are printed in batches, and any part of a batch that isn't sold in a given week is added to the tickets that are for sale the following week. And that also explains why Chase the Ace tickets are not dated, something that many people have noted since this controversy began. Now, if you have tickets and can't make it to next week's draw, you'll have to find someone who you trust who is going and can take your tickets as well. Of course, not everyone will be able to do that, and some people may well be upset. But given the circumstances, this was likely the best case scenario for everyone involved. Debbie?
Thanks so much, Zach. That's our Zach Gowdy joining us live on Here and Now. Well, more than 50 protesters blocked a section of highway at the Labrador-Quebec border earlier today, protesting the state of Highway 510. They're upset that government won't allocate additional funding for emergency road repairs this season. Here and Now's Jacob Barker was there.
This is just one of the vehicles that protesters have taken aside and are holding up. They say that they're holding up vehicles destined for the Muskrat Falls project and other commercial traffic traveling through the area. There's over 50 people. Actually, one person said it's one of the largest protests they've ever seen down in here in the Straits. They are asking for an additional 9 kilometers of the Trans-Labrador Highway in this area to be leveled. The government right now saying it will do leveling along 11 kilometers of this highway, but they want to see an additional 9 kilometers, saying that the price tag for that would be just $1 million, and that's not too much to ask. Government also saying that that money could be better used down the line for paving. I spoke to a number of people about just why they're out here protesting today. Here's what they had to say.
They can't come up with $1 million with the deplorable state of our highway, but they can come up with $14, $15 billion, and it's causing the state of our road today. This is the reason why that we're here today, because of the fiasco that's going on with Muskrat Falls.
The roads are terrible, they're dangerous. Like on a motorcycle, I'm telling you, man, like I spend half my time going about 25, 30 kilometers. They're that dangerous. You just never know what you're going to hit, you know?
Now, if this protest today does not get them that 9 kilometers of paving that they're asking for, I spoke with Mayor Hedley Ryland, Lansalube Mayor Hedley Ryland, and he said that if that doesn't happen, he is calling on the Minister of Transportation, Al Hawkins, and the Minister for Labrador, of course the Premier, to come and meet with the people here in the area to give them in person their reason for not signing off on that. Jacob Barker, CBC News at the Quebec-Labrador border.
More Muskrat Falls protesters were taken into custody in a Happy Valley Goose Bay courtroom today. One of them, Jim Learning, is being held in contempt of court for breaking an injunction against protesting at the site of the Hydro Mega Project. Here now's Bailey White with the latest.
All 3 people taken into custody today are accused of breaking a court injunction which bars them from protesting at Muskrat Falls. That includes trespassing on the property and blocking traffic. The first person to be held was Jim Learning, and he said to the court, "Yes, I did trespass. Yes, I did block traffic, and I will do it again." With that, Justice George Murphy said he had no choice but to hold Learning. After lunch, Marjorie Flowers appeared before the court. Now, she is accused of breaking that court injunction several times over, and because of that, Justice Murphy said he had very little faith that she would uphold it now, and so he put her behind bars as well. Lastly, Eldred Davis appeared before the court. He appeared early this morning and then later today because in the middle of the day, he looked through the court undertaking and decided he didn't want to sign it. Because he couldn't sign it, he was also held. Now, all 3 are due back in court on July 31st, and until then, they will remain behind bars. Bailey White, CBC News, Happy Valley Goose Bay.
Well, the Telly 10 turns 90 this weekend, and it could be a record-breaking event. More than 4,900 runners will hit the start line on Sunday morning in Paradise. Among them will be 9-time champion Colin Fewer. So let's head back to the Remax Center. That's where our Jeremy Eaton is tonight. Jeremy.
There is a lot on the line this year for Colin Fewer. As you just said, Debbie, if he wins, it'll be he's the 9-time winner, so if he wins this time, he'll win race number 10. And that's a record setting because nobody in the history of this race has ever won 10 Telly 10s. Now, earlier today, I spoke with well-known runner and coach Art Meany, and he says this year won't be too easy for Fewer.
It's going to be an interesting race. I think the 2 runners, the 2 male athletes that I think will be worth watching is, of course, the 9-time winner Colin Fewer, who's going for his 10th, which would be a record number of wins, surpassing the legendary Pat Kelly's 9. And, of course, the Ontarian runner who's won the Telly twice, Matt Lozelle. Wonderful runner, very talented guy. He loves the Telly, loves to come down here from Ontario. He loves the enthusiasm the race generates. So he's a guy to watch, too. And on the women's side, Jennifer Murren is the favorite.
This will be Jennifer Murren's 3rd Telly 10. In the 89th version, she crossed the finish line in 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 6 seconds. That was good enough for 3rd place in the female division. Now, after she picked up her bib earlier today, I asked her how it felt to be tapped as the favorite to win it all.
Well, it's a little bit of pressure, but, I'm up for the challenge this year, and hopefully, I'll just leave it all out there and have a good race on Sunday. There's just people everywhere. You're trying to make your way to your own corral, and you see people calling out to you. You're just in a daze, I guess. There's just so many people, but it's a great experience, and you get to rub elbows with some people you train with and fellow competitors. My goal all year was to go sub 60. That was the goal, but I think I'm proved that I'm going to be able to do that. So the 58-minute would be ideal. So hopefully, you know, I'll be able to do that on Sunday.
Mern won't have to deal with last year's winner and current race record holder Kate Baisley. Now Baisley will be watching the race with her family, including a beautiful baby girl that she gave birth to at the beginning of July. Now a big question on everyone's mind here is, what is the forecast going to be like for race day? And Carolyn will have details on that coming up after the break.
One lawyer is not going to help a woman navigate really complex cases with child protection.
A St. John's group is voicing its concerns about the closure of a legal aid office that helps a vulnerable population. That story coming up after Carolyn's weather forecast. And welcome back, everyone. So before we get to the weekend forecast, the Telly 10 forecast, we have some video to share.
Yes, this is an interesting video. Just have a look at this. This is from earlier this week. Just have a look. This is cod. The cod are coming in onto the beach in Norman's Cove.
Oh my goodness. They're nearly onto the rocks. They're just feet away from, I think there was a guy standing in this shot. But anyway, if there was a guy standing in this shot, who needs a boat?
Just look at that.
Wow. That is unusual, hey?
Yeah, I watched it earlier. If we wait a moment, I know that there's a shot where you see the fish coming right up onto the beach.
So they're obviously coming in after some capelin,
I guess so.
I would think, yeah.
Yep, there he goes.
Look at that.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the Bert and Ernie Sesame Street, the here, fishy, 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 fishy. Remember that?
Yeah, who needs a net or a hook? Just call them right to shore.
Yeah, I'll just hop right in the net. All right, so let's have a look at the forecast. This is a little summary of what's to come. Tomorrow is going to be a fairly wet day, some patchy showers for a lot of people, but the afternoon in the east should be lovely. There's a really big cool down coming for Labrador tomorrow. You're barely cracking the double digits tomorrow, so it won't last too long though, so rest assured. And then Sunday, of course, is the big Telly 10 day. Everyone wants to know how things are looking there, and so far so good. It's looking clear and nice and cool actually. So this is tonight. You can see the showers moving across for mostly everyone tonight, and pretty much everyone has a risk of thunder showers this evening. Less so in the east than in other areas, but there is still that chance of thunder showers overnight tonight everywhere except for Labrador City and Churchill Falls and up in Nain. In Labrador City and Churchill Falls, you actually have a risk of frost tonight. It's getting down to about 4 degrees. So here on the island, looking fairly good temperature-wise. Temperatures in the mid-teens overnight tonight. Looking ahead to Saturday, you can see we start the day with some showers. All of these patchy showers, it's not really significant. It shouldn't last very long. It's not super heavy showers. And then we have the patchy showers as well moving across Labrador tomorrow. So for St. John's, we're pretty lucky in terms of the forecast. The morning is going to be a little bit wet, some drizzly showers, 14 degrees, but then it should clear off nicely and we should have quite a lovely Saturday, heading up to 20 degrees, mainly sunny skies, and that should continue into the evening. Now, if you are in Placentia heading to the regatta tomorrow, things are looking lovely. You're going to start the day with some cloud, and the winds will be coming in from the southwest, 20 to 40 as well here. So, and that's going to be pretty consistent throughout the day. You should see some sunshine, so it's shaping up to be quite a nice day for the regatta in Placentia tomorrow. So temperatures pretty good on the island. There's more of a chance of showers in central. Grand Falls winds are getting up to 22 degrees with some showers there. On the west, you'll mostly see showers in the morning, and then you can see some clearing in the afternoon, a little bit cooler. Corner Brook looking at 17 degrees there with a chance of showers. Moving on up to the Straits, similar conditions up here, some light showers in the morning, but it should clear off throughout the day, and temperatures in the mid to upper teens there. And this is Labrador. The temperatures are really dipping down. We're just barely cracking the double digits here right across Labrador. And then there's also those chance of showers throughout the day in Labrador City, just getting up to 10 degrees. And I thought I would just throw this in a little bit early. This is our Telly 10 forecast. The races, everyone will be getting on the go at about 8 o'clock. We're looking at 14 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud, and it should stick around that temperature during the race. So we're looking at pretty low humidity. We're looking at a tailwind of 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. So, so far so good. We could see some showers in the afternoon. I'll get to those details in the long range.
Thanks, Carolyn. Well, yesterday we told you how Legal Aid is being forced to close its family and child office in St. John's at the end of the month. It's a specialized service where a lawyer, paralegal, and social worker help families dealing with child protection issues. Today, the province's child and youth advocate is responding. Jackie Lake Kavanaugh was unavailable for an interview, but her office said in a statement that the closure is very concerning. This will result in a reduction of specialized legal services in cases involving vulnerable children and may result in unnecessary delays. If there are longer timelines for cases to be resolved, this may contribute to increased time that children may spend in care. If this is the case, this is unacceptable. In terms of legal aid's reallocation of resources, the statement reads, the advocate has also voiced questions to legal aid about the level of training and experience in child and family matters that these lawyers will have. While there are very real pressures and workload demands on legal aid, a reduction of services in matters involving vulnerable children is particularly troubling. Now, others are reacting strongly to the news of the office closure. The executive director of the St. John Status of Women's Council says this move is absolutely heartbreaking and something that will affect the most vulnerable sector of our population.
We've had contact from actually quite a few women already this morning saying how frustrated and how angry they are to see this go, and that they had found that office very supportive and very helpful, and they really don't know how they would have navigated the issue that they were dealing with without that specialized help. And I think that's the key thing. One lawyer is not going to help a woman navigate really complex cases with child protection. Much more support is needed. There is a great deal of issues in our child protection system. We have near to 5,000 open cases right now. Historically, we've had a great deal of deaths under child protection orders. I think we had up to 26 in this province before, in the 2009 report from the Child, Youth and Advocates Office. The relationship between child protection and a mother is the most intrusive relationship possible. They have a great deal of power about whether your child stays with you or doesn't stay with you, or the different rules that will be imposed on you in order to keep your child. And on average, they're going to be involved in your life for well over a year. So women need to have strong advocates, great education, and access to legal and justice systems to help them navigate that system in the best way that they can for their family. So what we just lost was a very important specialized services that vulnerable mothers living in poverty depended on, and we have no plan for what's going to happen with those families. The government needs to come forward, and it needs to give the resources to legal aid so that those women and that families have their basic human rights and safety met around representation in justice, the ability to navigate that Goliath of a office with a great deal of power, and to ensure that they have the education and the advocacy that they need.
This is the 90th running of the Telly 10. Now, after the break, we'll meet a man who, if he crosses the finish line on Sunday, would have finished 45 of them. That story's coming up. Every single person who runs the Telly 10 has a story. Joe Ryan, well, he's got more stories than most. He's set to run his 45th, and if he crosses the finish line on Sunday, he'll have finished half of all the Telly 10s ever run. Joe, we're getting ready now for the 90th version of the Telly 10 race. From all the research that I've done, I think that you've run the most of anybody who's still actively running. What number Telly 10 will this one be for you?
This will be number 45.
So
I've done almost half. Well, I will have done half on Sunday.
So when was your first Telly 10?
My first Telly 10 was in 1969 when I was a mere boy, and it was held down here on King George V track. 40 laps, no traffic, no hills.
And when was the first time that you actually did what is now considered the Telly 10 course from Paradise to
I
town?
believe that was in 1974, and of course in those days there was no publicity about the Telly 10 or anything like that. In fact, it wasn't even known as the Telly 10. It was called the Evening Telegram 10-mile road race, and eventually it evolved into the Telly 10. And I had no idea this race was going on until I happened to be at the sports shop down on Water Street picking up trophies for the basketball teams at the school, and I ran into Gordon Follett, who used to be, of course, associated with all of those races at the time. And Gord says to me, he says, "You're running Sunday?" I said, "What's on Sunday?" He says, "The Telegram 10-mile road race." So I decided, yes, I would do it.
What was that like back then, running the race? I imagine there weren't a lot of people.
There were 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 or 12, depending on which year it was and what the weather was like. There were, you showed up at the start line. There was no such thing as publicity or anything like that. There was no in-person registration weeks and days ahead. You just showed up and ran.
No fancy shirts like the one you have there?
No fancy shirts like that. In fact, shirts were not introduced. I was a member of the committee in 1981, I think, when we first introduced commemorative T-shirts. Just for something for people who had run the race. And of course, it's only been in the last 6 or 7 years that we are now providing medals for all finishers.
Joe, some of the people watching this might not know, but you literally wrote the book on the Telly 10. Can you talk a little bit about that and why you'd want to write a book about the race?
As I got more involved with the Telly, people would say to me, who won the race in such a year, and you know, when did women first start running, things like that, and I didn't know the answers at the time. So I started going to the Mun Library or down at the archives, and I started looking up those questions. And then eventually, over the years, I had so much information, I decided to flesh out each chapter and provide a lot more information. That's how I got interested. People were asking me about it.
So for people who may not follow the Telly 10 as closely as you or even as I do, what are some of the fun facts, I guess, over the last 90 years?
The fun facts? There have been all kinds of unusual things happening. In the very first one in 1922, there was a horse and wagon got between the first and second place runners, and that caused a little bit of confusion. There have been little dogs sprang out from the crowd and almost tripped up finishing runners.
You started in 1969. It's like we said, it's going to be your 45th version. How has, in your eyes, the race changed?
Oh my God, the numbers of people right now, it's incredible. I mean, 15 years ago, I was predicting we would hit 1,500. And now we're up to
almost 5,000
or more. The organization right now is superb. The road closures are there. We're giving finishing medals. We're giving treats, water, refreshments, snacks at the finish line. At the start, we have the organization there, the starting corrals, where you slip in according to your anticipated finishing time. The fans are coming back to the race as more and more people become involved. And it's just like the old days. If you read, the stories from the 30s and the 40s, people would line the road from the top of Cornwall Avenue all the way in Hamilton Avenue along the Merchant Road, 3 and 4 deep, to see this handful of runners, and they were the elite runners. They were the Pat Kellys and the Ron O'Tooles and the Cliff Stones, all these guys. So that's what's happening right now. The fans are coming back, the organization is there, the publicity is there, the hype is there, and everybody wants to do the Telly.
This is as close as I'll ever get to the Telly 10 trophy. It's a trophy that Joe would have hoisted, and if you look down here, you can see 1969. Joe Ryan. Now, if you're at the race on Sunday and you want to see if Joe crosses the finish line, which I'm told he certainly will do, he won't be hard to find because he'll be the best dressed person there. Now, Jeremy, what do you mean by that? Well, I've heard for his 40th Telly 10, he ran the entire race wearing a tux.
Well, people in Wabush are ready for their town's 50th anniversary and Come Home Year celebrations beginning tomorrow. We'll hear from an organizer right after the break. Wabush is known for iron, but it's getting ready to celebrate gold. The 50th anniversary celebrations begin tomorrow. It's taken a year and a half to plan the week-long festivities, and they've snagged performances by the RCMP musical ride. Melanie LaFosse is chair of the Wabush 50th Committee, and she joins us now. Well, thanks very much for speaking with us, Melanie. You're on the eve of the festivities after a whole lot of planning. How are you feeling?
We're feeling pretty excited. We're pretty pumped.
A lot of effort gone into this, a lot of volunteer work, I suspect.
Oh yes, it started last year, and after a year and a half of planning, we're, like you said, on the eve of Wabush 50th going and kicking into full force.
Now, I can't believe that you actually got the RCMP musical ride. It seems like such a wonderful event to bring to the anniversary celebrations. How did you manage to actually get them?
We applied online through the RCMP musical ride site, and we went from there, from having interviews with the retired planner who came in and visited us, and came in again in March and showed up 7:30 this morning. It's been a bit of a process, and it worked out, planned out as it so seemed, and here they are today prancing around Wabush.
What was that like to see them this morning?
Very exciting. 7:30 this morning, when they showed up, it was very, very exciting.
Yeah. What else is planned for the week-long festivities?
So we have, of course, the RCMP ride. We have a canine pre-show before the musical ride. We also have a pre-show demonstration by the gymnastics. We have a dinner theater. We have senior events, being bowling, a kitchen party. We got the Labrador West Regatta. We have our opening and closing ceremonies. Opening ceremonies start tomorrow and closing on July 29th.
Something for everyone, it seems. This is also Come Home Year in Wabush. Did you plan it to coincide with the 50th?
We did, yes. It has been a while since the town did a Come Home Year and had an anniversary. It was 25 years ago, so we took it upon the 50th anniversary as a municipality and incorporated it as a Come Home Year as well.
Melanie, Wabush has been through some tough times with the mine closed, but word this week that it's going to be up and running next year. And you've got all this happy time with the celebrations, the anniversary celebrations. Has it lifted the mood in town?
Oh yes, it has quite. Everyone this week is pumped for the whole Wabush 50th, the RCMP musical ride, and now this announcement. It seems the community spirits are starting to lift.
Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
The weather update is brought to you by Belltone Hearing Service St. John's, helping the world hear better.
So Carolyn, I just wanted to point out that the footage that we saw of the RCMP musical ride, that of course hasn't happened in Wabush yet. That was file footage. But Melanie was telling me that they heard back from the RCMP musical ride people 3 weeks after they applied. They were so excited to bring the ride because they've never been up north like that. So what a treat for everyone.
Yes, and it'll be a little bit cool in Wabush tomorrow, but not too bad.
Not too bad. I'm sure nobody's going to mind that.
Yes.
So last night we showed you some fabulous photos of killer whales, but look.
This video. This was sent in to us from Dwayne Late, posted this on Ryan's Facebook page, and just fantastic video of killer whales. They're so close to the boat. This is actually in Kiel's Bonavista Bay. Dwayne says that they shot this on Tuesday.
Oh, they're just following along.
Yep. Just fantastic. So I'm going to start the weather with a recap of what's in store for tomorrow. It's going to be a fairly showery day for much of the island in St. John's. We're looking at showers in the morning, but it will clear off nicely, and it should be a lovely Saturday afternoon, 21 degrees as the high. Showers will be a little bit more consistent in central areas, 22 degrees as the high in Grand Falls, Windsor. The west coast will probably see some morning showers as well, but hopefully that will clear off by the afternoon. Now, this is kind of the cool down for Labrador. Unfortunately, Lab City, Wabush area, you're only getting up to about 10 degrees tomorrow with some showers, but things will take a turn in a couple of days. So yeah, fairly cold for much of Labrador tomorrow with those patchy showers throughout the day. Looking ahead to Saturday evening and into the all-important Sunday, this is what we're looking at Sunday at 8 a.m. So you can see nice clear skies here. There's a little bit of patches of rain that's kind of headed our way, but that shouldn't come until the afternoon. So here we are at noon and things are still looking pretty good. But like I said, there could be some showers in the afternoon on Sunday, and some showers you can see here in Central as well. So the day is going to start off at about 14 degrees and stay fairly consistent in the mid-teens throughout the morning with low humidity and a nice tailwind, southwest wind, 20 to 40 there. So hopefully it will be a beautiful day for a race. So looking ahead to Sunday afternoon, you can see lots of showers as well up through the coast of Labrador and also on the island. So chance of showers for pretty much everyone on Sunday afternoon. So temperatures a little bit cooler, 17 degrees in central Newfoundland and along the west coast of the island there. And still those cooler temperatures are sticking around for Sunday. So along the coast there, Nain just getting up to 8 degrees as the high, 12 in Happy Valley, Goose Bay and Labrador City on Sunday with some showers. But things are going to be lovely on Monday. Just look how clear clear everything is, at least for the island. Still some showers there in Labrador on Monday afternoon, but here on the island it is just looking great. Lots of sunshine and temperatures 23 degrees in St. John's, in the low 20s in Central and along the west coast there. Things are starting to warm up in Labrador. Lab City hitting 16 degrees on Monday afternoon, and some showers along the coast there, 9 degrees in Cartwright on a Monday. But things will take a turn. I'll show you in a moment. Just look how lovely next week is looking. No precipitation. It's a lot of sun and cloud and temperatures not hot, but quite nice. A little bit cooler on Friday, but that could change between now and then. Sunny skies, and so it's looking nice on the island. And look how much things are warming up for Labrador. We have 12 degrees in Happy Valley, Goose Bay and Eastern Labrador on Sunday, but then on Wednesday, 30 degrees. So not bad at all. So things are looking up for Labrador.
Time now to introduce you to our young athlete of the day, who is Connor Lynch from Bay Roberts. He's 9 years old, plays left wing with the Bay Arena Rovers minor hockey.
He also plays goalie for his ball hockey team and is a huge Montreal Canadiens fan. Congratulations, Connor. You are our young athlete of the day.
Welcome back to Here and Now. I'm Jeremy Eaton live at the RE/MAX Center. Now, to pull off a race for 5,000 people, it takes a lot of planning and a lot of work. For race director Randy Ball, this is his 9th time doing it.
Our numbers are up again this year from last year. Last year we were a little less than 49.50, and I think this year we're closer to maybe 49.60, 49.70, so it crept up a little bit.
I have asked you this question the last 2 years, but I got to ask you again, why the rise? Why is this event so popular?
Well, it's a difficult question to answer, like the pinpoint, but I think the first thing I think is a reflection of a healthy lifestyle. Like, there's just more people now that are out walking and running as a as a quality of life. And I think a lot of people see this as a challenge or as a goal or something that they like to put on their wish list. There's all kinds of different reasons, and of course people do it and then they talk to their friends about it and family, and I think people just keep bringing new people into the race with them each year. No way you can call it a town event or even a St. John's event. Like I say, we have well over 4,900 runners, and I talked to the girls at the office who handle the registration, that type of stuff. Like, we have people from all over the province, obviously, St. Pierre included. Okay, every single province in Canada is represented, and I think we have one of the territories as well. And we have a lot of people from the U.S. I talked to a lady last night from Texas who's here for her third time. This is her summer vacation now. And actually, the girls told me today that we have runners from all over the world. You hear from Malaysia, Qatar, Middle East, everywhere. So it's an international event.
Wow, a lot of people, Jeremy. And of course, with all those runners coming here, it must take an awful lot of volunteers to pull off this event.
It certainly does. Now, they need a number of volunteers. Like, there's a bunch of volunteers like Sarah, who we just saw folding T-shirts. There's people like her here tonight. They need people along the race course, giving out water. So in total, to pull off this event for more than, I think it's 4,960 plus runners, it takes about 400 volunteers.
When I understand you'll be at the starting line Sunday morning, are you hoping to set any kind of course record yourself?
What about, I'm going to take the line I've always wanted to take and say, no comment, Debbie. I myself have picked up my race bid. Number 17 on the list, number 1 in most of your hearts, I'm sure. But yeah, we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Have a great race. Thanks a lot, Jeremy. Time now to show you who's celebrating this week. Congratulations to Lawrence and Marina Penny of Lewisport, who celebrated their 57th wedding anniversary yesterday. Also celebrating yesterday, Grace and Spencer Cutler from Indian Bay, who enjoyed their 64th anniversary. Happy 91st birthday greetings to Edna Evans, who's in Mount Pearl. Her special day was on Wednesday. Happy 50th wedding anniversary tomorrow to Rita and Aidan Connolly. Happy 59th anniversary to Marjorie and Dale Ernst, who celebrated on Wednesday. They now live in Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia, but lived in Happy Valley Goose Bay for over 30 years.
Happy 53rd anniversary to Amy and Adrian Hillier in Kitchener, Ontario. They'll celebrate on Sunday. Congratulations to Robert and Irene Freeborn of Harbour Mill, Fortune Bay on their 55th anniversary. Best wishes to James and Catherine Murphy on their golden anniversary tomorrow. Happy 90th birthday to Ross Spencer from Port aux Basques, who will be celebrating this coming Monday. Happy birthday to Arthur Joe Brooks of Southeast Placentia, who celebrated his 92nd birthday this week.
Congratulations to Cecil and Nellie Lucas of Holyrood on their golden anniversary. Happy 50th anniversary as well to Bill and Eleanor Butler of Kelligrews. Congratulations to John and Mary Lewis of Colliers on their 61st wedding anniversary. Emily Coates of Glenwood celebrated her 95th birthday on the 15th. Happy anniversary to Tom and Bride Lahey of Chapel Arm, who were married 57 years ago on the 16th.
Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Jim and Eleanor Goss of Torbay. 50th anniversary greetings to Thomas and Melvina Pittman from Jackson's Arm. Happy 95th birthday to Bessie Spurl. Bessie is from Pools Island and is now living in Badger's Key. 91st birthday greetings to Ivy Harvey of Carmenville, now in Gander. Happy 65th anniversary to Doug and Trudy Furneaux of St. John's.
50th wedding anniversary wishes to Bud and Marjorie Tilly of Catalina, who celebrated on the 15th. Happy 90th birthday to Anne King of Grand Bank, who will celebrate her birthday July 25th. Congratulations to Lynn and Bernice Barrett on their 52nd anniversary. Happy 90th birthday, Jean Noble. A golden anniversary tomorrow for Doug and Anita Barnes of Grand Falls, Windsor.
Happy 56th anniversary to Anita and Jim Mahoney from St. John's. That's coming up on July 31st. Best wishes to Jane Pollitt of New Harbor, who will be celebrating her 98th birthday tomorrow. Birthday greetings to Alice Leonard of Southern Harbor, who celebrated her 90th birthday on the 19th, shown here with her great-granddaughter Natalia. Happy 56th anniversary to Roy and Betty Hodder from Lewisport. Happy 50th anniversary today to David and Bernice Shepard in Lark Harbor.
Happy 57th anniversary to Grayson and Ella Crowley from Labrador City, currently in Riverview, New Brunswick. Happy 92nd birthday to Annie Hopkins from Brownsdale, Trinity Bay, now in Old Perligan, who celebrated on the 20th. Happy 96th birthday today to Ida Elliott of Bayvert, now in Springdale. Best wishes to Ruth and Carl Gowdy of Deer Lake, who celebrated their 59th wedding anniversary on the 19th. And by the way, Ruth and Carl are our Zach Gowdy's grandparents. It was a golden anniversary on the 18th for Harold and Shirley Tuck of Bishops Falls.
Happy 53rd anniversary to Anne and Frank Murphy of Raccoon. Happy anniversary to Menzel and Margaret King, who will be celebrating their 65th anniversary tomorrow. They're from Burnt Islands and now live in Heart's Delight. Happy 91st birthday to Madge Saunders of Greens Harbor. Happy birthday to Anna Mae Brushett of Little Bay, Mary's Town, who is celebrating her 101st birthday. She loves listening to music and spending time with family and friends. Best wishes to William Nelson of St. John's, who turned 90 years old yesterday.
Best wishes as well to Mildred Bonnell on her special day. She will be 100 years old this Sunday. Happy 92nd birthday to Vera Buck. She celebrated on Sunday the 16th. Happy 53rd wedding anniversary today to Frank and Eva Collier of Codroy. Also celebrating today, Les and Mamie Chalk of Charlottetown, Bonavista Bay. They've been married for 50 years. And happy 51st anniversary to Thomas and Bruna Moulton in St. John's. They celebrated their anniversary on July 18th.